Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Unreasonable Art of Living podcast and the first episode of the Eleven Dunbar YouTube channel. As always, enjoy the music. Ding, ding, ding.
I love how much you love this.
It's a great song. Shout out to Moritz, my dear friend. This song has been part of, this Journey podcast for more than 2 years. Hey, welcome. Welcome, Justin.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
Thank you. To start with, I want to talk about our ceremonial cacao. We prepared
100% chocolate.
100% chocolate. Cheers. It's delicious. We got it last Sunday, right?
Yeah.
And it's from, I think it's an independent cocoa producer or distributor.
Mm-hmm.
Cacao Soul, really nice. And they have incredible ingredients. Star anise, clove, Himalayan pink sea salt, organic cardamom, cayenne pepper, and much, much more. It's delicious.
And love.
And love.
Yeah.
Most importantly, love.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so pretty exciting. Our first video episode. So when you listen to this in audio, you can also go to the YouTube channel and watch the whole episode with our pretty faces on it.
Yeah, and all these cords dangling off of us. This will take some getting used to for sure.
I actually I really feel like in a Star Wars spaceship here.
Why's that?
Why was that a lot of cords?
A lot of cords. A lot of
Then
technical things happening.
the spacey lights underneath us, the couch, and it's a cool setup, I would say.
Is there a reason we chose the floor?
Yes.
But we're starting at the bottom.
We're starting at the bottom.
Yeah,
We're starting at the bottom.
Can't get any lower than the floor.
We work our way up, and we have not reached its handpan level, which is behind us.
Yeah, that's elevated status.
Elevated status. But yeah, what are we going to talk about today, Justin?
Ooh, many things. It's been 1 week.
In 1 week, yeah.
Since we officially launched 11 Dunbar. We have a couple things we want to share about that journey, what it's been like. Previous iterations of this and company building, and when we do retros, with product engineering, that sort of thing, we always run like a keep, start, stop. So I felt
Love
like
it.
that would be appropriate
Yeah.
here to share with anyone watching or listening. What are the things ultimately that we want to keep doing? We started. Well, I don't want to use that word twice, but keep doing that worked really well in the first week. What are some things we need to start doing just to connect better with the folks that we're talking to?
Mm-hmm.
And then what are the things we need to stop doing?
Stop doing. And we have, at the end of the episode, a really cool announcement or something in between. I forgot when we wanted to place it.
It'll just happen.
It will just happen.
It's just
so
happen.
you will never know.
Yeah.
It's just, okay, wow, here it is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was,
So what do we want to keep?
What do you want to keep? I think our spirit. I think the key driver of 11 Dunbar has been this beautiful combination of, we can work both of us are very, very operational, very much in execution mode, but we can also switch into this open mode, into this playful mode when we need to and the space is there. But we also realize something, that it's not always easy to get into this space. I'm not sure if we want to talk about this right away, but I think it was...
Yeah, let's see what happens.
I think there was one... I think like in general, like every time when you announce something, doesn't matter how often you have been doing it, it's always emotionally nerve-wracking. And what we realized is like in this mode of going public and you announce something you've been working on, it's always, there's anxiety involved, there's fear. And we also notice when we operate in this mode, it's very easy to slip, like not to forget this playfulness. And then there was an insight you actually had. What makes playfulness like, what was missing last week? Kind of like,
what was missing last week? Yeah, I mean, we were, running around trying to launch this thing. Just a lot of moving parts to building a brand, building a community, getting everything operating at a level that passes your own standards, but also infuses the right energy into the folks that we want to ultimately attract to 11 Dunbar as well. So a lot of those moving parts just cause you to kind of forget to have fun in the process, because you're, like you said, you're stressed, worried, when whatever comes up in the process of launching something, which I've done a lot of in 20 plus years of doing these things. But yeah, there was a couple of days where it wasn't really tense. We were just working really hard, and we realized that we hadn't really been laughing. I think a core thing that we do every day, and what we hope to share with a lot of the 11 Dunbar community, is just infusing play and laughter and fun into pretty much any part of it.
Yeah.
Right. It's a good way to build comfort and express yourself, but also diffuse tension, make the bad times less bad, and make the good times even better than they should be. Right. So, yeah, we wanted to make sure that we kept the laughter going in our daily routines, daily habits. I think the other things we wanted to keep was just the way that we were showing up in the conversations. Like, it's been awesome talking to folks about what we're building and just our own journey and hearing their stories as well. And this is why we do this, right? Is to have these conversations about where folks have been and where they are and where they're headed, and provide a space where they can share and be vulnerable and connect and build something really special and meet other people who are on that same journey. So yeah, keeping that energy and staying true to being authentic with that, that version that we're showing up with is really, really important.
I love what you said, keeping, showing up with our full selves in these conversations. We had already interviews with some potential applicants, and I think what I also noticed was very different. I think with both of us now, this kind of startup, because it's like a community, you kind of create a container, and whereas before we worked on products, so it was very it was easier to kind of see what you actually were building. But the month before, up until the launch, or not the launch, the invitation to founding members, it was more about what is our ethos, what is the brand, what is the principles, what is this community about. And now that we actually talk to people and to see the response in their faces, and also it really is energizing, because this is actually what reinforces what we were working on, we were thinking on. You actually talked to a lot of people in January already. And I think this was also what I realized is so different to previous startups. You had a product, but here, when you work on a community, it's really all about the people. And I think it was so beautiful to show up, to talk to people, and people we didn't even know. And they got really excited about 11 Dunbar, the process, the application, the Easter eggs. And I think it was a very beautiful moment to see. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, so far, the things to keep, though, is creating that comfortable space for folks to find us and then be willing to share. We've had some pretty in-depth conversations with folks we just met.
Exactly.
And you get to know people really fast, and I think that's something that we all crave, is the ability to just go there. Surface level conversations, you can get those anywhere that you might go out, but creating the right conditions so that you can be vulnerable, or it's not even talking about that deep of stuff. It's just telling stories and what you're looking for, and what your fears are, what your dreams are, where you want to be, and how what skills you want to develop. That stuff's it's fun. It's nice to hear that from folks. So in terms of keeping, just keep showing up in that way, and I just want to keep hearing these stories.
Keep hearing the stories, really.
Yeah. We've met people from all around the world already. That's great.
That's true.
I mean, this is my favorite part of company building too. I think I said this last week, but it was the weekly all hands. And what I loved about weekly all hands was we did 5 minutes of awesome in my last company. And this was someone would have 5 minutes of the 40. It started off as a 30-minute session, and it was an hour long, because we would just all talk. 60 people or so in the company, but 5 minutes of awesome was great, because every week someone would have 5 minutes and they could talk about whatever they thought was awesome, and then they get to pick the next person that would go. And then over the course of the company building, it turned into 5 of AI. So you have 5 minutes to talk about AI and build something and explain and share and what that was. And that was just one part of it.
Mm-hmm.
That, just hearing people get really proud of talking about anything that they cared about was always just a really special moment. And then, of course, we'd have moments where we'd celebrate wins and losses and have really difficult conversations as well. But
Mm-hmm.
those are the really human moments that I really loved. And so when I think about keeping that, I want to take that energy and build it here, and then teach other people how to create that culture. Not for the purposes of necessarily company building, but for just building good groups of people that can share experiences and then learn, grow, laugh, cry, vent, think, whatever that is together in a really comfortable space.
And what I learned, and what you also think today, you got the feedback once more, the reminder, what in the previous company, all the employees was this thing they really like missed the most is where all the how they build the culture, how you build the culture with your co-founder.
We did it as a team effort. But
and I think it was something great. Like there's some people really they don't forget this. Yeah, they remember something like this.
Yeah, that was a proud moment, or proud, I guess, takeaway from doing tech startups.
Yeah,
definitely
absolutely.
People and mission, vision, values, that kind of stuff. So let's talk about the stops.
Yeah, the stops.
Well, it's kind of tied to the keys. Is that you almost went there at the beginning of this conversation, but the stops that really matter, I think, are common for anyone who goes and launches something new, where you have the fear of being cringy or putting yourself out there. You have the fear of failure. You might have imposter syndrome, but like, why? Who am I to be able to do something like this? And I think we all, no matter how much experience you have or how much comfortability you have in launching something new, regardless of what industry or genre that's in, we all kind of face that. I think most people do. And I think I was reading something on X the other day that is like, this is what holds most people back. This is why most people never launch anything. It's because they get to this point and then they stop or they quit or they give up. And I think Kobe has a spiel on this from back in the day, but it's really only failure if you just give up, you stop completely.
100%,
So you get to this point, you just got to overcome those fears. And so we've developed some pretty good practices for meditation and breath work in the morning, which has been really, really nice to overcome that. But yeah, even us, like, we face these
100%. I think
self-doubt.
100%.
Are we doing the right thing?
100%.
But it always goes back to purpose, right?
Purpose,
like,
and
that you want to wake up and do every day.
Purpose, and also authenticity. And I think maybe something part of that is not something we start, but I think I don't want to get into start yet. I think there's many stops out there, but what we wanted to start to document also our journey.
You can't skip the start.
No, I'm not gonna. Don't
we
skip.
barely finished. Keep going to stop. Why are you going to start?
Because it's so important. I think that because we also have last week was was a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah.
There was fear, there was anxiety, there was also then laughter as well, and we came back on this mode. And I think we thought very important to share this as well. It's part of every time you start something, there's all these emotions involved, and it's like very natural. And I think you're so right. I think
it's very scary for me. I really don't even have social media of anything. I have LinkedIn, but for years and years and years, I just don't. Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, all that stuff. So yeah, putting yourself out there. When I've done company building stuff, but I always had other people kind of be the face, forefront. I would speak at stuff, but I was really good about trying to get other people to be front and center. But this time it's different. This is building in public. People have been doing this for many years now. I've never really built in public, and it's taking some getting used to. It's this. All these chords and stuff is part of it, but we'll see.
We'll see, and I think
just like anything, exposure. You expose yourself to this stuff, 100%. You get used to it, and
I think
I would share that with anyone who's launching something. You're going to have days where you're wondering why you're doing this, but just keep going.
Just keep going, and I think that's also like back to the keep. I think this like the beautiful thing here is like if you have really like a really good relationship with someone, good friend, a good co-founder, a good partner, then there are days where either one of us has maybe a bad day and the other person's then, like what I learned last week was like we were there for each other. We were switching both modes of like, I think you said something funny yesterday. It's like, it almost like, we're in this spaceship and we're taking off and like, things which was like from left and right were thrown at us. We were like, whoa, what's happening?
It's company building.
Yeah.
You launch anything. It's a marathon, not a sprint, right? There's
Yeah.
just always going to be something.
Exactly.
There's always going to be something.
And yeah, so stop.
Stop.
Yeah, stop.
Stop worrying about shit. Yeah.
Exactly.
Good.
Exactly good.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, stop leading from fear. Stop acting from fear, from a place of fear. I think that's what happens, and you can like slip so easily into this zone when you then start acting from a place of anxiety or fear, and you can do it. I think there's many people who actually operate from that place, but I think it's not where we want to act from.
Yeah, and look, the easiest way to overcome that, again, going back to the exposure thing, is consistency compounds.
Yeah,
see that at the gym, plastered all over the walls at the gym I go to. But I used to use this a couple of years ago. It was like, I can't remember. It's from a book, I'm pretty sure, but it's around like 1 to the 365th power. It's still 1.
Yeah.
So if you do nothing different or nothing at all to make any progress all year long, you're still a 1.
Yeah.
But if you take 1.01 to the 365th power, you know what that is?
A lot.
It's a lot more ones. 30 something, 34, 37. I don't remember. But you want to be a 30 something. You don't want to be a 1. So yeah, baby steps. Just
baby
making more
steps.
progress, and eventually you'll come out of it.
100%. 100%. Are we ready for the start?
Yeah, let's talk about start.
Yeah, start. One thing I think like maybe it's not like what I realized last week. A big learning. I think we have launched a few things in the past, but I think we didn't capture. So there's like we had a really cool application flow, and people can go through, and like we're surprised. So we can talk about like we had actually quite a high conversion rate for keeping in mind that the price is $199 a month for the membership, and it was actually quite high as a conversion rate for people than actually submitting an application. However, we forgot, and you were like, hey, we should capture, how do we capture all the other people? Because maybe there's few people we haven't really reached them at the right moment. So how do we reach them? How do we capture them? How do we kind of keep sharing about what we're doing?
I felt silly. I mean, 15 years prior to AI, 15 years in ad tech and MarTech and data collection, and I didn't even think about
join a newsletter.
Join a newsletter.
So
you gotta have a way to engage with folks. I mean, that's really what it's about.
So we got so excited that we got to add also like a join a newsletter button, so people can just like submit their email address, and also I think this was like a big like, hey, why don't we do that?
It's ridiculous. There's a lot of things to think about. Just one that slipped through the crack.
Exactly. But now we have it. So if you haven't yet, you can join a newsletter.
I love this commercial.
It's good.
It's great. It's more than 30 seconds. It's expensive. Yeah. What else on the start side?
Start side. I think with this, I think another we talked about the
just more creative ways to bring people in too, right? Like this is why we're doing the video and experimenting with this. I've done in-person talks and podcasts and that sort of stuff before, but I don't think ever a format quite like this.
No.
And maybe this sticks. The audio side will stick. That's
exactly.
Fun. Video side, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, there's sort of more creative ways to like reach people and talk about the things we thought we were hearing a lot from folks that were reaching out to us, and try to amplify and echo that in a way that engages folks with really important conversations around things like AI and adoption
100%.
of AI, and what are they doing to level up and acquire skills to make sure they're ready for what's happening and ready what's coming, and everything from creative expression and creativity. What are the things you like doing as a kid? Like we just like talking about all that stuff. So we're just trying to find new ways to amplify that and get that content out there. Besides just the podcast and the LinkedIn post and the Substack stuff. So
be more creative about it. And I think part of what we started as well, because before we hit record, is like, what is the purpose of this?
Why are we doing this again?
Why do we have cables everywhere?
Such a hermit. I'm just like, why am I doing this? Not 11 Dunbar, but why am I doing this video?
This video thing is like, let's find it out during the episode.
Yeah.
But I think one other thing is that we want to also document this journey. I think was part of it as well. To document, share. I think it's nice. I think it's nice to just see it, give other people like a window in what we're doing here, and be open about it.
Yeah, I really admire folks that have built brands or communities doing this.
Yeah.
And I want to see what happens when you do this. If
Exactly.
anything, it's a social experiment for myself, just to see
Exactly what happens.
works, what doesn't work. What do you learn? I'm sure we'll have all sorts of great conversations as a result of this. So if anything, you just learn something and acquire new skills and see where it goes. Yeah.
Is actually now the time to also talk about the cool thing.
I know you want to. Just go.
I want to.
Go for it.
Because we've started. So one of the things we thought about, like, how can we capture...
I think this came after we started laughing again. In a really stressful day. We started laughing, and this idea
Yes. I think you managed to break the ice, and then we just giggled about one idea. And I think this often happens. I think it's like this, we'll
give the backstory.
The backstory.
It was like Moltbook and OpenCloud and all that stuff, right? We were
kind
of tinkering around with
exactly.
That went crazy viral or whatever.
Exactly.
And we kind of came up with this idea, right?
But can we share what we did there, or just no?
I mean, we were just tinkering.
Tinkering. Yeah, we were just tinkering. We didn't do anything.
I mean, we did. We tried, but we learned. How to build agents and all that stuff. That was really fun, and then before that, you basically taught me Cursor.
Yeah, and it was so cool.
That was a lot of fun. It was frustrating in the first hour and a half. But to be fair, like I've 2-time AI CEO, and you're here teaching me how to use a AI platform's pretty funny, but yeah, I didn't ever have to do it before. After a year sabbatical, came back and all these things were available. So yeah, no, it was fun. We, already built like a game and some software stuff.
It was awesome.
Fun. Yeah.
Like, it was literally
and you're a good teacher.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. You're a good student.
Thanks. No, I thought it was pretty terrible actually. But through that, we after that happened, and then the open cloud Moltbook stuff.
So just like as a reference for people who have probably not heard about Moltbook, what happened there?
I don't know what's happening and what's happening. It's just think of it like an agentic social network. So more or less, you have these agents that can operate within a Moltbook, which is, I guess, a Reddit style place where these agents were talking to one another. It was completely separated from. Or it was supposed to be completely separated from humans being able to comment on it.
So social network for AI agents.
And just see what is a social experiment, see what was happening. But what we learned out of it was less about the Moltbook thing. It was more about like how the power of building agents and like how hard was that and how easy was it and like what can you do with that sort of stuff. So then it got us thinking when we tie that to the start.
We still start.
Was first this was going to be for members, and then we realized there was a really cool opportunity for us to announce sometime in February. So the next couple of weeks, we're going to do this. Basically, what you did for me to teach me vibe coding or through Cursor, which is a little bit better, I guess.
You're going to do it live,
We're going to do it live. So what we're going to do is we're going to send out a registration for people to register for sometime in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to do this live session where if you register, you can tell us what you want us to build: an agent, a product, something, hopefully something creative and silly and fun, less of like a business idea. We'll get to that at some point, I'm sure, in this series, but this will be our first example of doing a live stream where we're going to take one of these ideas. If no one has anything that we think is something we should work on, then we'll come up with one ourselves. And we're going to do a live stream, and you're going to teach me, and we're going to frame it kind of like a cooking show, I think, where you're the chef, you're cooking up something good.
And you're the charismatic host.
Or the dummy that is trying to learn this stuff and just making people laugh, I guess.
No, you're the charismatic host.
Sure. Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. So
but the purpose of it is two things. One, to entertain, have some fun, be playful, be creative, but also learn something. We're going to learn as we're going to learn some of this stuff. It's not going to be stuff that we just know really well. So it's going to be on the fly learning for us, and hopefully pretty educational for folks that are tuning in or watching.
And very inspirational. I think this is like the key principle behind is like to show the magic of playful learning. Is hey, we have an idea. It should be impractical. We just want to have fun with it. Just have fun with creating something, and we're gonna learn as we go. And we're gonna document this, and we're gonna want you to be part of it. Yeah.
So many people are holding back from learning these tools because they're waiting for this big like app idea or business or company idea to go out and learn it, or they're just using, I guess, like ChatGPT, and that's
100%.
And so we want to kind of break that wide open and destigmatize
break it open.
Like, how do you actually do something fun? But again, not for the purpose of building a company around. Maybe you learn something enough from the session that then you have
inspires
the
you
idea.
maybe. Yeah.
It gives you the confidence and the courage to go out and try something. But we'll start it under the framing of something.
Another thing I've realized is like how many people they think of AI as like ChatGPT, but I think there's like a majority of people who have not discovered yet what is possible with AI in terms of self-expression, creating something. And it really is very empowering, actually. And we want to spread this because I think we are both very tech savvy, and it's very easy to forget.
Digital crayons.
Remember,
we saw that. Someone posted that. And we loved it. It was like, that's a great way to frame these tools, and the way that I guess we're approaching this with 11 Dunbar is one part educational. And this isn't everything that we're going to do in the community, but it's just one of many types of events that we think we can tie together. Something that you can learn that's practical, but do it in a way that's impractical and fun and silly, and in a way to express some creativity.
Exactly.
It'll be fun.
It'll be super fun.
We'll put that link out. People
Exactly.
can register, give some ideas, and then hopefully join in.
The only thing is, whatever idea you give us needs to be fun and ridiculous.
And we're going to open source it.
We're going to open source it. So the idea was we're gonna pick one idea, we're gonna build it, we're gonna open source it. So whoever you can then, if you submit your idea, you can continue building it. Other people can join you building it. We're gonna help you setting it up. So yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah. Again, we want to learn this too, so we were going to do this anyway. Continue having these sessions where Garrett's teaching me some stuff. But yeah, it'll be fun.
It will be fun. I think this was a good topic. I think actually, we know what? I think there's a new format. I think we have the keep, start, stop for a weekly, and then something that inspired us. Because one thing that inspired us was the podcast by Huberman about playful learning or playfulness, Andrew Huberman.
Around the same time as us announcing this stuff too, which was great.
It was crazy. And it was so fitting because it was actually what we talked in the beginning of this episode. It's like last week, we realized, wow, to be in this state of laughter and play, there's what you said, it's beautiful. You need comfort. You need to feel comfortable. And then maybe you shared with me the podcast we listened together. What did we take away from this?
It's exactly this.
Yeah.
It was how important being playful and play is to not just kids, but to adults as well for expression and for learning. But the only way you really get there is by being comfortable. Comfort creates playfulness, and then playfulness creates intimacy, connection, and learning as a result of that. And those three things, I think, that's kind of all I want to talk about. Not today, but just in general with people. Because, if you can get people to just be comfortable, trust you, and just, bring in genuine folks that are vulnerable, that's what we would call the relational space, right? It's like
100%.
And this has nothing to do with your job title or how much money you make or revenue of your company. It's really about just you as a human, your ability to go there and be naturally curious, not judgmental. Ted Lasso, shout out. It's great. It's a beautiful show. And that's what we would call the relational space. But yeah, we were inspired by Andrew Huberman's podcast. And then you had a professor, right?
So
we watched.
So when I started my PhD, I never finished it, but when I spent a bit of time there, I was in the Helsinki University at the Playful Learning Center, and my supervisor, Professor Kristiina Kumpulainen, she's really an exceptional researcher on playful learning, especially early childhood, but also in adulthood. And I think it reminded me like the time I spent a lot of time like understanding what makes games so special, that people can spend hours being engaged, learn, and also like don't give up. There's like, it's way more complex than a few bullet points we can give here, but I think it ultimately led me to the concept of like, what is play? And as such, is it something so human? And we don't talk about just play in the terms of like playing a board game. It's very much a mindset. How can we be playful and operate from a state of playfulness? Because you mentioned this already, it enables how to connect with people. It enables to experiment with identity. It enables to create. And most importantly, when you play, all your masks about yourself, they're gone. In this playful state, you're just truly yourself. Yeah,
and then I'm sure many of us have heard this phrase over the years, but people don't remember so much what you say or tell them, but they absolutely remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
right? And if you're able to be comfortable and, you know, have this playfulness and this creative expression around certain types of people, you know that feeling.
Yeah.
And I think we spend a large part of our adult life forgetting it on some level because of responsibility and trauma or stress, anxiety, whatever that might be, hardships, life, just whatever throws at you. And so getting people, or just for myself, like helping to remind myself to go to that place is just, this is the best. I'm so glad I went on the sabbatical for a year to remind myself of how important that was. And now I get to, you know, do this with you and hopefully connect with so many other people and help them too, help remind them of how important this is so that they can, you know, become or, you know, be whoever it is that they want to be.
Yes, and I think there's one part we both have been in this in how do you say, in retreats, coaching, therapy that, you know, it's about healing and then personal growth. But now that I think about it, I think one of the key elements was always missing was this essence of play and being in this state of where you kind of like just laugh and be silly and like express, and it's so healing for your nervous system because it throws you back when you were 5, 6, 7 years old and you were just like, I don't know, it's hard to describe the feeling, but
my grandfather, he's 92.
Yeah,
he was married to my grandmother before she passed away for about 60 years. And he would aggravate her relentlessly, but not in like a toxic or mean way, or not belittling her or shaming or judging her in any sort of way. It was just like playful teasing, almost like a kid on a schoolyard. And I still to this day remember, before she died of cancer, unfortunately, I still remember the way that she would look at him when he would tease her. And it was just like these twinkle in her eyes. I still have one video of her looking at me that way, with rubbing her head and stuff. But she would look at him like that every time he would tease her, and it was playfulness. Yeah. There was such a
playfulness,
a deep comfort between them that they could play like that.
It's bonding. It's deep bonding. Yeah.
And the family they built, my mom and the four brothers, they played games all the time, board games. They were out in the yard playing weird basketball and volleyball games. But you think about attitude reflecting leadership and like what dynamic they were able to create. It all came from you know, my grandparents or my mom's parents, but they created that comfort, and with that came playfulness, and with that came intimacy and connection, and they had a really, I think, probably a really amazing childhood as a result of it. Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that, but it just made me. You sparked that.
That's a beautiful story.
Yeah, it's great.
Again, I think that's why it was so beautiful when you were able to name it. It's like, okay, wow, it's so important to create first comfort where you are. Comfort allows you to play, and in this mode of play, you connect, you bond, you learn, you experiment, and I think it's like this beautiful container.
And that's important because what I think the professor watched her TEDx. She had a quote that says something like, "Development is our entire lifespan." Yeah, right. I think Andrew was saying something similar as well. He may not have said
so it can lifelong learn. It's like really a lifelong development. There's never an end to. There's never a start or end to it. It's like there's a start and there's an end. But touche. But technicalities. Yeah. But between this literal start and literal end,
in this lifetime,
there's no end to development. Yeah.
No, I think the moment you stop being curious and stop trying to grow and evolve. We talked about this, I think, a little bit last week too, the adaptive generalist, right? Like you should be trying to acquire skills and knowledge across any and every area that exists. Some of the best mentors and people I know can talk to you about plants, blinds, steaks, love, life, relationships, business. They can talk to you about anything, and they're constantly in a state of development and learning. And some of those are, I didn't think about this, but some of those are some of the silliest people I know as well. When you really get to know them, and they've got a comfort with you, they show that side, right? Yeah, we kind of, I used to think of this as like red, green, yellow. It could keep, start, stop, but for myself, and I would keep this red, green, yellow around who do I want to be, where I want to be, and who do I want to be with. And over the years, it evolved and it changed. And every quarter, I would kind of check in and assess what that was for me. And over the last couple of weeks or months or so, we've had a lot of discussions with each other and other folks about this like continuous development cycle, and where play and creative expression falls into that. And I kind of came up with another framework for this that works at least for me, and we're kind of testing this out. But it's really around you think about continuous development as a metamorphosis, right?
Yes.
And what in nature goes through that kind of metamorphosis? It's a caterpillar.
It's a caterpillar.
Right? From caterpillar to cocoon to butterfly. Yeah. So you think about what that might mean in terms of your own development, whether it's professional, personal, you're going through growth. So at the caterpillar stage, for me, that was when I was curious about something. I knew that something was kind of pulling at me, that either I wasn't in right relation with myself or with nature or spirit or whatever that, was what I was working on, how I was spending my time, and sometimes it takes a really big life event. You might go through a divorce or a big breakup or move across the country.
You start questioning things.
Yeah, you start to really reflect and reassess your relationship with everything: time, family, friends, substances, money, everything, play. And then you start crawling towards something. You start to see these signs, right, of like people start to introduce you to things that, like maybe it's Joe Dispenza or,
suddenly you read self-help books you would have never read before, or listen to podcasts,
maybe like this one, right? Or you join a community, or you start doing, new hobbies, rituals, habits, and routines that you're learning about, and that's like the testing phase. Like you're crawling towards it, but you don't really have a plan. You just know that this is interesting to you and it's pulling you in a direction.
It's pulling you. And I think what I just want to add a thing, it's very interesting in this stage, like the caterpillar stage, there's a pull. There's a curiosity, but you can't quite name it. It's like there's something you're like, something is off, or not off, but I think there's hard to say. Like this drive in you suddenly wakes up, and you don't know exactly what it is.
Suddenly you're fuzzy and you got 36 legs.
Exactly, you 36 legs, and
I actually don't know how many legs a caterpillar has, but we'll ask Google or ChatGPT that later.
Wait, what is this? No, it's not 1,000. It's another animal. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Back to the story.
It
says caterpillars.
Yeah.
And then you have another part of your life. Once you're crawling towards something, you finally acquire the skills or the tools. Then you're in the cocoon. This is like you're building a company, or you're doing some sort of growth work to better yourself, or just level up. Yeah. Whatever that means. You can go into school. It could be anything, right? Personal or professional. And that's hard. That's hard work. You're probably letting go of some stuff. It's, you're relearning, new tools and tricks and just how to be. And you're probably having to let go of a lot of things.
Ooh. And you're like, it's a stage where you feel most lost, and probably very lost in various stages. It could be very heavy. It could be also very beautiful. It's like a very interesting up and down, because you let go of identity as well, and it's scary.
Or you assign your identity to whatever is like
exactly
front and center. For me, it was tech CEO. That became my identity for 8 years, and that doesn't define you. It's not who you are. If you're not careful, that cocoon can really lead you in an interesting space. But then the whole point of the cocoon is that you're building towards something. You're growing. You're learning, acquiring new skills. And it's a really difficult phase. But on the other side of that, you emerge as a butterfly. And how I've been thinking about lately is that there's two, I suppose, responsibilities of the butterfly. One is to yourself. You made it through this thing. You did the growth. You did the work. You put in the repetition. You showed up. You were consistent, whatever that looks like. And now it's time to fly. Go spread those wings. You earned it. Go take your victory lap. Go live the thing and enjoy it, because it may be fleeting until you're back to the caterpillar
and again
doing it, because it's like, again, as your professor said or mentor said, like it's a development's entire lifespan. So you're going to keep doing
it's a cycle.
But there's another responsibility I feel strongly about, and not everyone does this, but some of my favorite mentors, shout out Howard, does. You have a responsibility to give back,
to be of service. Yeah,
other butterflies, the people in the cocoon and in the caterpillar stage, and really give them guidance, perspective, or tough love if they need that.
Yeah.
That's just continuous. You're going to see that. So I wish I'd have developed this a long time ago, but we've been talking about this a lot in the last few weeks.
Yeah,
I think it resonates.
It resonates a lot.
I'm sure it'll evolve.
100%.
It'll evolve as well. Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis.
Great.
So basically, this metamorphosis is meta what? Yeah. you know what I
To
mean.
people that don't speak English very well, it's not Southern, and you're whatever that is, Austrian. It's great. Good combo.
Where were we?
Mm,
Butterflies.
butterflies. You know, I think that was it. But it's the whole purpose of that was development as an entire life cycle. So you're going to constantly go. You're probably all of those at any given time. Depending upon how you
in what area, different areas, and I think that's also something we want to also like maybe get across is like there's not that's what I mean. Like there's in this sense, there's no all right. I'm not a butterfly. I'm now I've peaked my. I don't know, whatever evolution I have to achieve. It's always a constant cycle.
It never ends.
You've evolved in certain areas or like a certain period, like in certain stage from caterpillar to butterfly. It's just a process of kind of like, it's always a process of, okay, there's a new thing I'm getting pulled towards to. I'm going through the same process of healing, transformation, growth until I'm kind of through it. And then, okay, how can I give back? And I think over time, it's kind of an accumulation of many, many things. Yeah. And then it's just about like being of service.
And you know what happens next?
What? Darth Vader?
What? Darth Vader? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. You asked me, and it's the first thing that came to mind.
I was breathing into the microphone or something. Like, whoops. It's my first time holding all these cords. Oh, man, it made me lose it. Oh, no, life will test you.
Life will test
until you
you
learn a lesson, right? So
That's
it's like
true.
you go through these cycles, and then you might have to go through the same cycle again and again because you're hard-headed or stubborn, or you don't want to learn that lesson. And
until you're Darth Vader.
It'll keep throwing it at you until you learn it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's keep, start, stop. That was butterfly stuff. The play, I think. If there's one thing you want to take away from this first video podcast is there's more to come. And the cacao.
The cacao was delicious. Mm-hmm. I hope next time I will improve the recipe. I think like it was good. Okay, it was good. Right. We're going to keep, start, stop. We're going to share what inspired us. And
we'll see what feedback comes in. I mean, we're going to do this anyway, whether or not we make it public is a whole other conversation. But yeah.
And yeah, we will share the link. It's going to be a type form, and you can leave your email address and your name, and then you can suggest an idea. What should we build? It should be something really impractical. Anything, of course, needs to be digital, something you can build like
with AI.
With AI, please.
Yeah.
And
Cursor, Codex, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
We use whatever.
And be rest assured, we will add our silly twist to it as we go, but we want to co-create with you. We want to share the joy with you and the fun we can have with these tools.
I mean, we've done this once already, and I didn't know shit the first time.
No.
If I can say that, but like I had to download Node or NPM.
Yeah.
Or something. So all the scaffolding stuff will cover that in case you're like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I have all the things. Like we'll revisit that because there's a little bit there.
It's a bit like you don't have to go that way, but I think it's good to know, and wasn't that much.
No, it's not that bad. I complained the whole time, but
that's okay. And then, then you get really tired.
When are we getting to the vibes?
It's like this doesn't feel like vibe.
Yeah, there's the vibe.
There's a vibe.
When's the vibes happening?
This is work.
And then we got there.
Then it was vibey.
Yeah.
And you built something really, really cool. We can't share yet. We're gonna share the link in the show notes, and we'll be awesome. I think we're going to do the live stream probably next 1 to 2 weeks. Something around that.
It just depends on how we're feeling. what comes out of it. But yeah, it'll be in this month, probably within the next 2 weeks for sure.
Yeah. And maybe to end this, like if you're listening to this, you can listen to it in audio version, but also we have a YouTube version now. And if you have any questions to us, maybe things you wanna topics or we should want to cover, you want to hear more about, please let us know. We'd love to hear. Yeah.
We're trying some stuff.
It's the first episode. Let us, let us play around. Awesome, man. What are we going to do now?
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day.
Yeah. It's been a long day.
We're going to relax now.
Yeah. Chill.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Then that was it. Thank you so much for listening. Until next week.
Great conversation. See you next week.
See you next week.